Keshava, who is the ocean of compassion. What a great. He held the Govardhan and he killed the Kamsa. What a nice song to remember. Who always played the wonderful flute to bring the happiness in everyone's life. So we will read from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. We are reading the chapter titled Crying Alone in Wilderness. I'll read one paragraph to bring up to the speed and then we will continue. And whoever has joined late, I highly recommend that please listen. 3:30 and 4:30 meditation, profound messages there. You should dwell on these wonderful messages our Acharya is sharing with us. Striking a cosmopolitan note, he stated in his announcement, quote, by the grace of the Almighty, Delhi is becoming the center of cultural association of the world, unquote. The leaders of both Russia and India had recently pointed to the need for cultural contact between all nations. But the highest culture, Abhay suggested, was scientific spiritual knowledge. Therefore, the best cultural resources in the world existed in India. And these resources, Abhay stressed, should not be left to the unorganized sadhus and sannyasis, but should be taken up by important members of the society in an organized way. This is what we should do to help us as Srila Prabhupada desire to spread the Hare Krishna movement in whichever we can. Krishna has given every one of us some ability, and I think Krishna is just asking, just repay him a little. He's not asking anything, he is not hungry. He is complete, but he wants to see the love from his devotees. So now we will continue. The December 22nd Hindustan Times listed the meeting of the League of Devotees in the today's engagement column, along with announcement for meeting of the Rotary Club, the Tagore Society, the Indian Council of World Affairs, Bharat Scouts, and the Indian Pharmaceutical Congress. The League's meeting began with a kirtan led by Professor H. Chand, and then A.C. Bhaktivedanta, founder and secretary of the League of Devotees, explained his movement's objectives. Then Narendra spoke and afterwards read a number of proposed resolutions from the founder secretary, attesting that the person present supported the League of Devotees and that they recommended that the central government of India also should support as a movement for the world peace based on Gandhian principles. After adoption of the resolutions, the meeting closed with another kirtan and prasadam. Prabhupada, the program is so nice, everything included. Abhay was convinced that if his well-wishers and fellow humanitarians would support him on a grand scale, he would create a movement for the world peace. You know, Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, last verse, it says about the formula for the peace. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvalokam maheswaram. Just worship, give the important, topmost important in your life to Krishna, and everybody can live very peacefully. As I always say, human being is the only one who doesn't follow the rule, and they are the only one who suffer in this material world. One day, those thoughts should struck our heart. Based on the principle of devotional service to Lord Krishna, but his role was simply to present Krishna consciousness to whomever he could. The result were up to Krishna. So whenever this is very important to remember, we should never expect that we should become successful. Only thing we are trying to do is engage our body, mind and words in service of Krishna. The result is up to Krishna. Krishna doesn't look at how big you achieve something. At least you are trying to serve him. That's important to him. So if you are doing anything, any project or anything, and if the result doesn't come on your way, you should not feel bad because Krishna has already noted your dedication. Haribol. Abhay was aware that the good intentions of most of the participants in his Birla Mandir meeting would not go past that one meeting. But he wasn't discouraged. Though all his tireless evangelism, he maintained a philosophic jollity. In one sense, he was already fully satisfied. He was happy to be working on behalf of his spiritual master. Although he was changing addresses so fast that his mail could hardly catch up to him, he wrote a newspaper ad for a home study course. This is the one he has posted, educational. Study the spiritual secret of Bhagavad Gita at home by correspondence and be a strong man. Full course fee is rupees 50 rupees only. The instruction is imparted not in the ordinary imaginative way of qualified interpretations, but in the parampara system of preceptorial succession. All questions are properly solved. Apply. AC Bhakti Vedanta students of all committees and nationalities are welcome. Haribol. And Prabhupada exhibited in his life that he didn't stay only in India. He took a rest. He came to the Western world at advanced age in a cargo ship, having a couple of heart attacks on his way. No money in his pocket, no fixed residence, sleeping only 3 hours a night. That's the dedication Prabhupada has done for all of us, and we should repay him in some way. Even small way, Prabhupada will be happy, smiling at us from the spiritual world. He had not published Back to Godhead in 4 years, since 1952. But he decided to revive it. Back to Godhead was a mission worthy of his full attention. And it took all his effort to collect the funds, compose the articles, see to the printing, and then distributing 1,000 copies. Everything done single-handedly. The money he would raise by obtaining interviews and soliciting donations. One donor and friend was Justice Bipin Chandra Mishra, a Supreme Court judge in New Delhi. Prabhupada never leave anyone. Justice Mishra, he described his meeting with Srila Prabhupada as follows in his own words. He used to come to me once a month. I give him donation for his paper. It was only a 4-page magazine, but it showed his study of the subject and his earnestness and his devotion to Lord Krishna. He appeared to be a very simple man and modest, and it was pleasant to talk to him. He had smiling demeanor. The main thing was his humility. He could talk with affection and confidence, and he knew we were discussing things near to God. So every talk with him
Yes.
would sublimate us. I was rather an important personality at that time in religious affairs, but he would not be expected to make any contributions to the main religious life of Delhi at that time because of the language difficulty, because his aim was to reach the English educated person, not the Hindi ones. And also, somebody has unmuted the phone, it creates little disturbance. So, Sanjay, thank you. And also, because his means and his popularity were not at all established. The magazine did not have a wide appeal among these people. Other religions leaders were all well established. The only thing that impressed one and was worth noticing at that time was the simplicity of his abiding faith in God's name and his mission. This Prabhupada really portrayed it. Whoever associate with Prabhupada reflected that they can see how simple he was and implicit faith in the holy name and Krishna and his mission. How much struggle he took, Prabhupada, just see. Writing articles was no problem. By the grace of his spiritual master, he was neither short of ideas nor unable to set them down. Translating and commenting on the Vaishnava scriptures, his pen flowed freely. He was inspired by the miracle of the press, the Bruhat Mutanga, the work of writing his message down and printing it 1,000 times with the awareness and urgency of speaking directly to everyone, not just people in Delhi or India, but everyone. Put away into an aesthetic meditation, he would contemplate how copies of the Back to Godhead would reach thoughtful people who might read them gratefully. This is a requirement. We should read with gratefulness toward the person who is giving us. Nor was maintenance a problem. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadev Goswami had declared that a devotee's problem was not food, clothing, or shelter. If one had no bed, he could always lie on the ground and use his arms for a pillow. Haribol. And that's the happiest time of our life, when we have this kind of a ambient to follow like this, sleep on the floor. Haribol. For clothes, he could always find some rejected garments in the street. Haribol. For food, he could live on the fruit from the trees. And for lodging, he could stay in the mountain caves. Nature supplies all necessities. Because we have said that I went to the Chardham Yatra and I see that every living being, bird, beast, animals, the ant, serpent, everything. Serpent is not there in the Badrinath Yatra, That's They respect Krishna's kingdom not to harm anybody. So you don't see any snake, but all living being living so jubilantly, happily, with no anxieties for the maintenance of their life. Everything provided by Krishna if you become dependent and follow his rules. But we are the human being. The artificial intelligence has bring us so down that we think that we are something and we don't take shelter of Krishna. And for that reason, we suffer life after life. That's painful. We will understand what the pain will be when we become old and when we have to go through this difficult time. Just remember, brother and sister, this time is ahead and nobody can escape unless you fix your devotion to Krishna and go back home, go to the kingdom of God, or you can come back in the material world for one purpose, to spread the holy name. Haribol. Nor was maintenance a problem, Haribol. For food, he could live on fruit from the trees, and for lodging, he could stay in the mountain caves. Nature supplies all necessities. A transcendentalist should not flatter materialistic to maintain himself. Never ever, Haribol. Of course, Abhay wasn't living in the mountains or jungle, but in the city of New Delhi. Yet he had virtually adopted the renounce mode Shukdev had suggested, not to punish his body or prove himself pure and uncompromising, but because he had to live in a poverty if he wanted to regularly produce back to Godhead. Poverty is a blessing of God. If you are rich, you will never become interested in Krishna consciousness, guaranteed. And you see all these millionaires, they have no interest, but they don't know that they have to face the death. And at that time, they will have to regret so much. And to give up also. I was reading that Manaha Siksha, that at time of death, you won't be able to take any money with you, no asset, no family, no friends, no society, no nation, nothing. You will be empty, totally bankrupt materially. And if you are also spiritually bankrupt, what a horrible situation it would be. Materially, it will be wiped out, guaranteed 100%. Everything will be taken away from you. But spiritual, you can maintain with you. And that's the greatest gift Prabhupada has came to give it to us. Haribol. We should be so indebted to Prabhupada. For Abhay, it was a great labor of love. Actually, when we spend the money for someone, that's give you the most happiness in your life. Try it. The poor man. Always, you see the poor people will appreciate another poor. If the beggar has one chapati and when he sees the other beggar has nothing, he will gladly give the half of the chapatis. But we never completely satisfied. Even Krishna has given so much. One of the advice I give to the Grihastha, 3 advice I give. Never worried about the children education. Why? Because I have seen the devotees even, that when the son born, they start calculating everything. Oh, this year, the university fee is 40,000. After 20 years, exponentially, how much it would be? $250,000. Okay, so in 20 years, I will have to save $250,000. Every month, I should save so and so for one son or daughter. If you have 3, 4, a never-ending process. My advice is don't save any money for children education. When they grown up, In a high school, when they go, that's the best time to sit down with them, show love and affection, and show them that you care about their life. So give them an option, two options you have, dear my friend. You have to treat them as a friend once they go to teenagers. Tell them you have two choices to educate yourself. Either you became very hard uh, working student and get good GPA to get the scholarship. If not, then you can always borrow at 2% student loan. And when you work, you pay for yourself. Second, don't spend too much money on marriage, maximum $25,000. And if you are, I have seen nowadays people are spending millions in, you know, marriages. Why can't they give the home mortgage-free loan as a gift rather than having those big celebration? And one thing I can tell you, brother and sister, listen carefully. Not if you invite 1,000 people, I guarantee you, not a one person they will socialize, okay? And they will never will even say one sentence that Krishna, please bless this newlywed couple. I assure you, believe me, what is the use of feeding those people? No need. Give them the house paid for it, car paid for it, no mortgage. That's the way we should do it. And then I was giving this in one of the home program, like only 5, 6 devotees family I invited. When I went there, they have the chair and the cushion for me. I said, no, I'm going to sit down on the floor with you all. I'm not a special man. And then while I was talking, I shared two things. And then one Mataji raised the hand and he said, but Prabhuji, how about retirement? And I said, that's the last thing I was going to say. Do not worry about retirement. Why? Show me one family who doesn't leave any money for their children. Show me. We are not spender of the money. We save money. A lot of money that even we cannot use for ourselves. And we leave more for our children. And our children nowadays doesn't need anything from us. So what are we doing? Retire early and enjoy your spiritual life with full bliss. Haribol. Sorry to distract it. Away it was a great labor of love, and purchasing paper for printing became a priority even before eating. Say, he will fast, but he will never stop doing the spreading of Krishna consciousness. That's the dedication of Prabhupada. Neglecting his personal needs for preaching was a manifestation of his faith in Krishna, of which Abhay suffered no scarcity. Haribol. He had full faith that if he served Krishna, he would be provided for. To work alone was not an unsurmountable problem. It was pleasant and simple. It was better than having to manage the neophyte inmates of the Gaudiya Sangha. The ecstasy of working hard to show his spiritual master was not a problem. Haribol. The problem was the condition of the world. According to the Shastras, the current age, Kali Yuga, would create continual degradation in society. And we have seen it in our life. When I was young, I still remember, how simple people used to live. That we used to eat the millet, jawar rotla, every day. Only we get the wheat chapatis or we call parathas when the guests come. How rich that culture was. They will live simply for themselves. But when the guests come, they will spend whatever is needed to make them comfortable and happy. That's the culture we need to create in our life. Do good for somebody else not for yourself. Let it go. Oh gosh. And Abhay could see this evidence every day in Delhi. Delhi, formerly known as Hastinapur, had been the ancient capital of King Yudhishthir, who 5,000 years before, under the patronage of Lord Krishna, had been the most opulent king in the world, and whose citizens had been fully protected and provided for. That is thing, when there is no rain, people were not thinking to dig the well. They will say next year Krishna will bring more rain and more crop will come. That's dependency on Krishna. We have to learn to become dependent on Krishna. You know, I don't know how this, I'm a crazy person, sometimes that I do certain things. So during the Japa retreat, all the out of town devotee who join on the Zoom call, they wants to visit my home and see my Japa room and all that kind of stuff. But they were impressed before they enter in my house. Why? Because I have even though I don't have the brink security or whatever security, the stand I have in my front of my house, there is something that you can post. So what I did is I have the Radha Nila Madhava beautiful picture laminated, and I put down that these are the one who is securing my house, not security company. And devotee liked that idea. They took so many pictures. He said, Prabhu, this is fantastic. I said, yes. Everywhere we should see that Krishna is the one who does everything, not any. If we are going to get the protection, not by having a security system will protect you. But if you please Krishna, Krishna can protect you. There is I always go out of the line, but I can't stop. The devotees, I don't know where it was, it's somewhere in Australia or something. And he has a beautiful deity of Nrsimhadev. So the thieves entered into the house and they were going to rob everything what they had. And once they see the deities of Lord Nrsimhadev, they become so much afraid. They left the house without taking anything. So that is the protection Krishna can give, not any security company. Haribo. So let's continue. It's so nice to read Prabhupada Lilamrita, It's really enlivening to hear Prabhupada live in the morning. Haribo. And the citizen has been fully protected and provided for. Now, after 1,000 years of foreign subjugation, India was again independent and New Delhi was the capital. Yet, even in Abhay's relatively brief 60 years of experience, he had seen Indian culture, which in his childhood had retained much of the original purity of the Vedic age, degrade. Now he saw a society in which his countrymen were victimized by the propaganda that they could be happy in gross materialistic indulgence. I remember my childhood. There was no electricity, no water supply. The mother has to go even 1 mile to carry those pots on their head. That's the life, natural life. No electricity. And with the small, what they call the lantern, that they will sit in the evening. They get together and read Mahabharata, Ramayana. What a life, rich life was that. Now, we don't know who the neighbor is even. This is the life we are living. And now, it's getting worse. We are building big, big mansions. So, if you want to talk to your family member, you have to use your cell phone, even though they are living in the same roof. That's called advancement. There you go. What a degraded society we have become. And we also follow the same thing, being a devotee. Haribo. Let's see. A relatively brief 60 years after he had seen Indian culture, which in his childhood had retained much of the original purity of the Vedic age, the great. Now he saw a society in which his countrymen were victimized by the propaganda that they could be happy in the gross materialistic indulgence. Haribo. The British has introduced tea, tobacco, meat and factories. And now, even after independence, these were a part of India's new way of life. You go to the Bombay, you go to the Delhi, so many nightclubs. It's worse than in US. Haribo. Having driven away the British, the Indians were imitating Western ways, and India's leaders were deliberately ignoring the Vedic principle of God consciousness, the very treasures India was meant to distribute to the whole world. You know, it's profound. When we speak about Prabhupada, it's so wonderful. Prabhupada went to the London, and one of these reporters, the lady asked Prabhupada, why have you come here? We have our own religion. We are practicing our religion. What is the need of the new religion over here? What was the response from Prabhupada? You Britishers, this is how he spoke to that reporter. You Britishers rule India for so many centuries. You stole everything from India, including the Kohinoor diamond. But the most valuable thing that India can give, that you didn't steal. And I am here to give you free of charge. That's Prabhupada. Bold and very clear. Haribo. Abhay had seen how India had abandoned her spiritual heritage and gone running after the modernizations of the West. But now, where was that material advancement? Were Indians any happier in that independence than they had been in British days? To Abhay, the overpopulated city was a hell of ruffians and fools. All the thousands of poor people were employed in the burgeoning steel mills and tire factories. Their living conditions has worsened. And now the new version is artificial intelligence. Haribo. More and more we'll dwell into the artificial intelligence is going to make our life horrible. Just wait for the time. This world is horrible. We should get out as soon as we can. Thank you very much. And today I'll be leaving for Phoenix. And I will have to get up at 12:30 to start at 1 o'clock. So that will be 2 o'clock in Houston. But I'll be there because what Prabhupada has given, just imbibe in your life. Have a staunch morning program. And you will see how Krishna will change your life, that you don't have to work. Why I am saying that? Because I have worked where they used to pay me. And I used to chant 35 rounds in 8 hours. It's possible, brother and sister. You don't have to work like an ash. That is not the human form of life. You know, like today, some devotees that I have very close friendship with them, so I can write. They cannot maintain the time to join in the morning. So I said, what kind of animalistic life are you going to live and how long? Become a human being. Human being means to have punctuality in spiritual practices. We are not animal. We are human being. We have an intelligence. We can change the way we live the life. It's in our hand. I always remain Guru Govinda Swami Maharaj, the liberated person. That the person, we hold the tea trunk, right? With the two hands like this. And then we are calling Oh Prabhu, oh spiritual master, oh Prabhupada, please release me from this bondage. Are Baba, Govinda Swami Maharaj told me, Baba, release your hand and you are free. You don't need anybody blessings. Change the way that you live your life, Prabhu. Change is required. If you have some realization, it should affect our life. If we live the same way as we are living 20 years ago, what have we learned? Nothing. Zero. If you are convinced about something, and just try, as I said, Krishna will bring you so much happiness that you cannot even perceive at the present stage of your life. Believe me, it's so glorious life you can make. But we need to get away from the materialistic way of life. Don't count how much money you have, how big house you have, how nice car are you driving. Still you are miserable. Accept it. You know, I don't know, I have given this example many times, but I don't mind to because I'm so excited when I talk about the materialism. One of my doctor's friend, he used to come in late 80s and early 90s. Somehow or other he has a lot of respect for me. For last 20 years he has not come to the temple. But 10 years ago I received a phone call from him. Shyam Sundar, Prabhu, can you come and visit my new home? I want you to put your feet in my home. And I said, definitely, Bharat Bhaiya. His name was Bharat Lathe. Still, he lives in north of Houston. And I went there. So, what the materialist people do, they will start showing their house. First, he started with the backyard. Lot of lakes behind, nice fountain, coloring light at night. And he told me even, the Samsunda Prabhu, you can hold your japa over here. It would be my great fortune that if you hold all the devotee can come. I have not yet exercised. But then he took me inside. Each bed room, he had about 10 bedrooms house. Only husband, wife, and one son and one daughter. And on his master bedroom, he's like a 30 feet by 30 feet with vaulted ceiling and high ceiling, and bathroom was even 20 feet by 20 feet bathroom, master bathroom. So I take the tour very happily, and then we sit down on the sofa, and it was a three-seater sofa. I sit down on one corner, he sit down on another corner, facing each other, and I said, Bharat Bhaiya, man, you have big, you have wonderful mansion, congratulations. But let me ask you, Prabhu, what time do you get up in the morning? He said, 6 o'clock. What do you do? He said, well, Prabhu, we have to leave by 7, 7:15. So in rush, we get ready, eat little breakfast, and then go. I said, Prabhu, then what time you get back home? He said, 8 o'clock is the earliest, sometime 8:30, 9 o'clock. I said, Prabhu, what do you do after you come back from work? He said, my wife is not working, so she always keep my meal ready. So we take dinner. And we turn on the TV to see what is happening in the world. I said, doctor, then what do you do after the dinner and like that? He said, just sit for 10, 15 minutes and then we go to the bed. So then I went in the middle seat, moved from my position closer to him, and I hold his hand. And I said, Bharat Bhaiya, when you sleep, you must be keeping your eyes open, right? And he was shocked. He said, what do you mean? I said, well, if you close your eyes, then what does make a difference? You are sleeping in a 30 by 30 room and vaulted ceiling. Doesn't make any difference. You could sleep in 10 by 10 if you are closing your eyes. He really wake up. And he really hold my hand. He said, Prabhu, you hit the point. And then he revealed his life. Shyamsundar Prabhu, lot of the night, even I cannot sleep properly because I'm always worried because he has the medical practice with his partners. And never do the partnership. That's my advice if you are thinking to do. No matter how good the friend is, never do partnership. It never work. And the amazing thing is, listen this, if you have suppose created a partnership, when the business lose the money, no problem. They will cooperate with each other nicely. They will put from their hard-earned money $2,000 a month, losing the money in the business. They will be so cooperative, so nice to each other because they have to put the money. But as long as the business start making money, everybody will start thinking this business is happening because of me. I'm doing this, and then quarrel comes. So he was telling me, Prabhu, I'm so afraid at night I cannot sleep properly because I always think that something happened in our partnership. How am I gonna take care? Because he put only 2% or 3% down payment on everything. Furniture, house, car, whatever he has, Tesla car. He showed me how the door get open, swing on that side. Man, I said, Bharat Prabhu, that's so nice. And then when we're sitting on the sofa, then he said, Prabhu, all this thing is nothing but a burden on the person's life. And that was our culture. In India, you don't get money on the mortgage to buy anything. If you have money, you purchase. I remember very clearly, if people doesn't have the money, they walk. If you have little money, you buy bicycle. First use one. Then if you have money, maybe you can buy brand new one. Then you have little more money, you will buy the moped, scooters. Then you have more money, then you buy a car. That was the rule. And that's how the people were completely satisfied. It's not the people who was walking on the road. They were thinking, oh, look at this man can drive a car and I have to walk. No, those thoughts never arose because I grown up in very poor. My father was not that, rich. And I appreciate that. Every children grown in US must face the difficult time in the first part of their life. So we can see it. This is how we should train our children. Even though you're a millionaire, give half money to temple and live simple and train your children. Because if you let them have the luxurious life, brother and sister, when you die, they will hate us. They look at that, my father give me everything and spoil me. Really, contemplate on this thought. And they don't care. Now you see it, you don't expect them to take care when you get old. They will not give you a glass of water, brother. And we become so alcoholic working to make their life successful. And the reciprocation that current society is getting is zero, zero. So what to speak after when you retire? Don't think that your children is going to take care of you. You have to work hard yourself throughout your life. Rather, simplify your life, retire early and live happily. Don't take any botheration for the children. You open your heart, tell them. That is the advantage of self-made man. I live my life like that never become dependent on anybody. Only Krishna. And you will see how life can change. Otherwise, you live the life like that. What is the use? What are you gaining? You cannot sleep even properly. Now people will have to take a medicine to go to the sleep. That's the worst situation. And when the old age comes, if you don't take care nicely, naturally, your health, You are going to have the lunch and the dinner, nothing but the medicine and capsules. Give up those things. You don't need nothing. Make your life so nicely that your body can function like a young man. I do a lot of work in my gardening and I'm 76-year old. Nothing, I can run really fast. Krishna gives us everything, brother. But we have to depend on Him and show your dedication. Give up something. When the marriage come, we spend millions of dollars. And when the temple, we have to give the money, we can't not even give $10,000. How poor we are, just think. We are really, really poor. Don't think that you are a rich man. Show the richness by serving the one who give you the life. And you don't show who has given you the life. Do you think your son will serve you? Krishna has given us everything, and what we are reciprocating, that's the same way our children is going to reciprocate with us. Remember, this is the world we are living in. Become staunch in devotion. Give up the false idea of becoming happy on your own with working. I don't know, still I couldn't understand. This IT team, husband and wife, both of them are making six figure, and still they keep on working up to 50. If I have that income, I will not work more than 10 years of my life. I guarantee you. But this is illusion. We are thinking something that you are gonna get happy, and you never have any time to enjoy your life. I can tell you, who has time to sit down quietly for half an hour? Tell me. Or who has the time to go and wanders in the nature? At least once a week, go to the park and see the nature. We don't have the time because we are greedy. The things that give us the happiness we have left behind, and searching for this thing which has no real value. It just brings the misery. But we like it. Why? Because we have been totally illusions. We are blinded totally. So anyway, I have to prepare. Little bit some thought came in my mind that I would like to revise my presentation for the Sunday feast in Phoenix with Maharaj. So I have to prepare a little bit whatever my thought process, and also Sneha Radha Mataji is going to come to my home. So I have created the chart, sadhana chart, as you see. What it says, there are 3 stages I have created. On first stage, if you want to follow this sadhana chart, first on the top, write down every day your wake up time. What time did you wake up? And then the whole day I have divided during the day, night we have no control, 3 a.m. to 7 p.m. divided in 2 parts, 3 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then you can write down, just start with little, that I'm going to do little devotional practice. What you are going to do? You are going to write down under the title activity. And then 11 to 7 p.m. What are you going to do devotional? And you make a note, certain things. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you have to rate your activities. Put a tick mark. I was successful. What I write, my intentions, I completed. And then when you put a tick mark on the top where the V shape happened, you put what percentage your concentration on that activity. Just don't do it for sake of doing it. Then you just put the 0 concentration. Rate yourself every day. And then second stage will come where you wake up time, and at the night you have to also write going to the bed time, whatever time, every day you write it, what time you go to bed. Then next stage, once you become fixed on those 2 parts of the day, 3 to 11 a.m. and 11 to 7 p.m., then we are going to bisect it. into the four time zone, 3 a.m. to 7 a.m., 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., and 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Each segment, you write down your desire, what you trying to do during that day of the time. And then you rate yourself Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, putting the tick mark or cross. And don't make too many crosses because then what is the use of taking up this sadhana? But anyway, you rate yourself also. And then the third stage, which will be that bisect day in a first two part, two segment, then we make it four segment. And next step is divide in eight segment, 3 to 5 a.m., 5 to 7, 7 to 9, 9 to 11, 11 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5, and 5 to 7. In each 2 hour segment, you will write down your desire. What exactly are you going to do for Krishna consciousness? And make those commitments. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you rate yourself. Write down wake up time, what time you go to the bed. If you practice it, then you put for the whole 4 weeks. We are making the chart for 1 week. When the month is over, you put 4 pages and see for yourself how you are doing your devotional practice. So this chart I'm gonna ask Sneha Radha Sneha Mataji to make Excel spreadsheet, and it will be available to whoever wants to put in practice. This is something we need. We need force in the beginning. Like look at the rockets when they send into the sky. They have a huge fuel tank is required to get out of the gravitational force. And then they need very little tank. Then they can go even 10 times more distance with little. Same thing in our devotional life. In the beginning, a lot of fuel is required. Then it will go on its own. Because why? Practicing constantly became a part of your life. You won't feel even that I have to wake up at 2 o'clock every day. It will become a part of your life. Nothing to worry. Everything will work out really nice. So thank you very much. I already taken up your important, valuable time, 20 minutes. So please forgive me. So let me offer my humble obeisances at the desk of these wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas who, despite their so much hard work at the work and still keep on joining in the morning. It's nice to see like that, 2 o'clock some working. I'm a useless guy, retired person, I can do it. But when I see 15 devotees join at 2 o'clock, that's amazing. Krishna is so kind. So thank you for those dedicated devotees. Vanchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhaya vacha